Over in the Marvel Universe, the publisher is currently releasing two Captain America series starring both Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson. In the pages of Captain America Symbol of Truth, Sam has been following his nemesis White Wolf across the globe. And in Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, we've seen Steve Rogers unite with some of his friends in order to stop the mysterious Outer Circle. And today we're going to go ahead and take a look at how these two villains are joining forces to sort of ensnare the Marvel Universe in Dimension Z. My name is Arico Braddock, and today let's go ahead and take a look at Captain America Cold War Alpha #1. But before we dive deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our content. And I want to go ahead and introduce this issue to you with Marvel Comics' solicitation text for the series. The revolution starts here. Bucky Barnes is the Outer Circle's new revolution, and he's enacted his deadliest move yet, an alliance with Sam Wilson's nemesis, the White Wolf. When Steve Rogers' adopted son, Ian, A.K.A. Nomad, is abducted by someone Steve thought was a friend, he suspects Bucky's hand at work and calls upon the people who know Ian best. Sam Wilson, Sharon Carter, and Misty Knight to help him get to the bottom of the attack. Has Bucky finally gone too far? Why has Nomad been taken? And what does it have to do with a portal to Dimension Z opening over a secret battleground in Alaska? The Symbol of Truth and the Sentinel of Liberty reunite in a pulse-pounding crossover event that will make them question everything they believe in and each other. And I want to go ahead and introduce our creative team over on Captain America Cold War Alpha #1. This one is written by Collin Kelly, Jackson Lanzing, and Tochi Onyebuchi. It features art over for Carlos Magno, letters from VC's Joe Caramagna, and we have a cover illustrated by Patrick Gleason and Alejandro Sanchez. The issue is colored by Guru-eFX. And here's a look over at the cover for Captain America Cold War Alpha #1. Really like some of the line work over from Patrick Gleason in the issue, and how this issue's cover kind of uses that negative space as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the interiors of this issue. And I want to give just a quick thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting these previews so incredibly fast here. And I want to go ahead and just start off the review by talking a little bit about Carlos Magno as an artist. So I really enjoyed some of the work from Carlos Magno in the issue, but I did find that some of Magno's facial expressions can be really kind of inconsistent, and there's a lot of shading drawn on Magno's figures as well. If you take a look at this page, while I do appreciate the 9-panel grid used here, I just think that some of like the shading on Steve's face is not consistent from panel to panel, and it really, I think, kind of takes me out of the story and takes some of my immersion away from the tale. If you take a look over at this page, when we see an explosion, I think Carlos Magnos's expression over for Steve is just so kind of beautiful and expressive over on this page. So I would argue that there's definitely moments here where Magno's art looks absolutely vivid and kind of taps into the full potential of the story. And there are times, particularly in talking head scenes, where the artwork doesn't quite look as vivid as it should. That being said, I do think Guru-eFX's color art in this issue is incredibly, incredibly good. The color can really change depending on the mood that the scene calls for, and I think some of the shading really helps make the story more clear depending on kind of what sequence you're looking at. One of my favorite parts of the issue in general was actually the opening sequence, as we get a look at the relationship between White Wolf and Bucky Barnes over in the story. I really like that sort of tense, animosity-filled meeting between the characters that happened right from the onset of the issue. And there's so many sort of, small plot twists that almost remind me of the Captain America television series over on Disney Plus with the Falcon and Winter Soldier. In addition, I also liked some of these scenes where we got to see Steve catching up with Ian kind of throughout the series. Also, I think it's pretty seamless how Tochi Onyebuchi and Jackson Lanzing and Collin Kelly are continuing kind of two stories in one issue here. I think if you're a regular reader of either Captain America Symbol of Truth or Sentinel of Liberty, it's going to be a really kind of seamless reading experience to go from the last issue of either of those series over to this Captain America one shot. And I think kind of the tone for both of these titles is pretty much kept intact as well, thanks to some of the careful scripting in here. I really did enjoy how some of the plot threads over for Dimension Z are kind of utilized, and so much kind of continuity and history surrounding Ian and some time from All New Captain America is referenced over in this tale. Really enjoyed how this is kind of a globe-trotting series as well, bringing our heroes over to Alaska as well. And also, I really appreciate as well how this series is kind of giving us a fairly deep look at the villains of the story as well as the heroes. It's great to kind of get some characterization from both perspectives across this book and to get both sides fleshed out across these different series from heroes to villains. I think it makes the story seem way more complex and interesting, but in a really, really awesome way here. So I really enjoyed Captain America Cold War Alpha #1. I think there were so many plot threads that were utilized very well across these two series. Really enjoy how Bucky was kind of scheming a plan over with White Wolf, and really interested to see how big kind of this threat from Dimension Z is going to develop over in future issues. Also, I really thought it was kind of seamless going from, the recent issues of these two series over to this one kind of uniting two titles in the Marvel Universe. Really enjoy how Marvel has been having these kind of, sub crossover events, as this is a little bit similar to kind of Dark Web and Execution over for the Spider-Man title. But I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts over on Captain America Cold War Alpha #1? Did you enjoy this issue? What are some of your thoughts over on the reintroduction of those Dimension Z plot threads and the character of White Wolf? Well, I want to thank you guys one last time for coming to check out the video, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent comic book content. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.